On his last day in office, President Biden commuted the sentence of Leonard Peltier for the murder of 2 FBI officers. This subject has received lots of attention in Native circles. For 50 years in a row, people have been advocating for his release. There is some contest and controversy, and I'm happy to share a perspective about this important development. I wasn't there. I have no idea who killed those FBI agents. Somebody did kill them, and they do deserve justice. I'll say this, though, that I am convinced that Leonard Peltier never should have been convicted of killing those FBI agents. And the reason is that in the course of the investigation, there were other people who were arrested, charged, and tried and exonerated. Leonard Peltier had escaped and avoided arrest, and he ended up being tried separately. There was no difference in the major substantiating evidence, and he really should have been exonerated. The legal principle in America is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The biggest difference that really led to Peltier's conviction was that there were 2 pieces of evidence introduced during his trial that were not introduced during the other ones. The first was an affidavit from somebody named Myrtle Poorbear. And she said, "Yes, I saw Leonard Peltier walk down that hill, then I heard the shots." But later, after his conviction, she retracted the statement and said that she had been visited by people from the FBI who told her that they would take her children away if she did not sign an affidavit saying that. So her affidavit was coerced and should not have been admissible as evidence. And the other important piece of evidence was a ballistics report that put an FBI agent on the stand saying, the weapon that killed the FBI agents is a match with Peltier's. But that evidence, the ballistics report, was fabricated. And if you take those 2 pieces of evidence out of the picture, he would have and should have had the same result as the other people who were charged with that crime. That's a statement about the legal system and what should have happened with regard to the trial. I also feel that the FBI agents and their families were deprived of justice by having a thorough and proper investigation that found who did it and tried and convicted them. Peltier was not fully pardoned. His sentence was commuted down to time served. So he'll live what remains of his life, in freedom, except he's under house arrest. So it won't be complete freedom to live life any way he pleases. He will be restricted. He spent 18 years of his life as a kid. He spent 50 years of his life incarcerated, and really not an awful lot of time doing anything else. During his time as an adult and a free man prior to his conviction, some people have raised issues in the Native community about his behavior, or the fact that all of the investigation brought so much negative attention on Native communities, and there was such a heightened state of tension that it was a contributing factor in the death of Anime Akwash, even though 2 other people were convicted of that crime. And I don't dismiss these concerns and criticisms, but the fundamental question is, should Leonard Peltier have been incarcerated for 50 years? And I'm convinced that by the legal standards in the United States of America, he should never have been convicted. And seeing him released it's hard to call it justice, but it is the right thing at this point in time. And We have so much that needs attention and redress. I think it is, I'm glad that Leonard Peltier's case got a lot of attention, and people, even as I've traveled in Europe, knew about this case and saw him as a political prisoner. I think in some ways, though, his case also took a tremendous amount of bandwidth with regard to all of the issues that we need to pay attention to. And I hope he finds some measure of peace with this long delayed outcome. But I hope that we can focus the attention of the world on the really critical issues that are before us so that we can advance justice for all Native people as well as everybody else. Miigwech.